So I wrote Smile Again a couple years ago, and then I remember I was like, oh, this is a great song, so I wanted to show it to the bros. When I had written it, all I had for the intro vamp was just a guitar strumming pattern. So it's basically more rhythmic than anything else. I think this was actually the first song I wrote with a drop D in the guitar too, so that was fun. But I was really interested to see what they would hear in the song, what they would come up with, because even though we are triplets and very similar, we have completely different ways of artistic expression. And I think the first major discovery was if you would be using fiddle or mandolin. So that really changes the texture.
Yeah, normally I use fiddle when we're playing gigs or whatnot. I still end up playing it actually in our track, but it's more of a background texture. In this case, the mandolin is more of my main focus for the song. At first I just tried to replicate what you were doing on guitar with the rhythm, so just matching that at first was a good project. And then while we were trying it out, I ended up jumping up on the neck and trying something up in a higher register. We ended up coming up with a nice lick to put on top, a kind of tag that we add to in between.
It's a really unique pattern too, because it's not like your traditional kind of softer running mandolin. It's very strumming, very upbeat, and super.
So you get this tinny, crashy sound, which works really nice for that, for the energy in the song, I think.
Really non-traditional mandolin playing. I think usually when I think of mandolin, you think of softer running melodies. But this is much more percussive and really full, very ringy, resonant.
Yeah, and it changed a lot.
Really unique.
What Michael had to do as well on banjo.
Yeah. That was probably the next decision. I remember when we tried it out too, we tried to figure out maybe since Tom was doing mandolin, if you should do fiddle. But I think we decided that we wanted something that would drive it more, kind of like a hard, quick banjo pattern. Our songwriting has kind of gotten away from the bluegrass genre, more into the modern folk stuff, and of course developing our own style, which is a bit different than everything else out there anyway, because we like to keep things acoustic and keep banjo on everything. The banjo technique had to change a little bit to morph with these songs. So instead of doing the classic banjo forward reverse rolls, I do more of the alternating style, add some simultaneous plucking with some double triple stop strings, and try to match it more with the folk style, like what Josh was doing on guitar. We try to complement each other. You'll hear a few of the classic banjo licks and slides in there, but most of the time we keep it to a more modern, almost pop folk style. But don't worry, because there's still plenty of banjo. It's pretty rocking. Yeah, each instrument in this song kind of takes on different imagery. I see the mandolin as kind of the thunder, even though in an almost joyful sense, it's always there rhythmic and has purpose in driving. And the guitar kind of references that a little bit, and the banjo, I always see it as like the pitter-patter of rain on a roof or anywhere in this kind of setting. And when the guitar is starting to do its sustain, there's some beautiful word painting Joshua created with this song. As he's singing about the new life that comes into these flowers that bloom because of the rain, I start driving the banjo up and up and up the neck, like the new growth. Yeah, and that's in direct parallel to what the guitar and the mandolin and the bass are all doing, this large, like octave climbing pattern.
That's where the bass is really coming in helpfully too, just where it begins to bow. And it's on in a high register too, so it has a little bit of intensity to it because we normally don't hear the bass that high. We have a feel, it's almost kind of just hitting that hard rain where things get to be gray and sad. And from there, the lyrics climb us back up to the joy.
And you guys are so sensitive with that too, because you really created your parts to match the text. That was the main thing too. We want to make sure that it just stayed upbeat and positive, like the message of the song. And then also the vocals, I remember when we decided to layer the vocals on top, that took quite a bit of rehearsing just because they're kind of non-traditional harmonies. The main chorus is kind of functioning from a couple chords that don't really fit in the key. And I remember our composition professor was asking me how we would define the chords in the chorus, because he thought they were very complex but fit really well in the song, and it was kind of difficult for me to describe because it's multiple poly chords kind of stacked up, and we're each playing different minor 7 chords or whatever, and stacking them. Really nice effect. And so with our vocals on top, we create basically these poly chords these planing polychords in the chorus, and it becomes one of the most iconic parts of the song. But we ended up, when we actually tried it out, three of us together, remember we had to tweak it and work a bit to make it more fluid, because what I had, it was working, but when we tried it out together, we came up with something that just flowed really nice.
So just that little bit that we were able to focus and organize in just the right way ended up lending itself really well.
So anyway, you can see all the process that we went into to create this song, and we're really happy with how it turned out. We feel like really couldn't have just gelled any better. It was such a really interesting and fun collaboration for us, as always. It comes out July 1st. It'll be available on iTunes, and Amazon, and Spotify, all that good stuff. So stay tuned.
Oh, good. That's on video. Did you get my scream?
Well, did you get my laugh was very cool. Usually end up just having the F sharp down here. Oh, sorry. Don't put that one in there. And also made the decision to stop doing videos in the morning because you guys have bad morning breath right now. But besides that, the new single "Mandolin Shred" now available.
It's about time that Tommy wrote some of the original music. So
this is why Tommy doesn't write the music for most of the songs.